Welcome back to Sportsworld. Egypt's Ahly football team celebrated their centenary year in 2007 by winning their 100th major title. Ahly is the most popular and successful team in the Arab world, with a fan base in the tens of millions. But the club is about more than just sport, as Andy Richardson now reports.
Welcome to the Egyptian Museum, which is considered to be one of the oldest museums in all over the world.
For centuries, the history of ancient Egypt has attracted millions of tourists to this North African country and to its capital, Cairo. But away from the tour groups and their cameras, there's a modern history in the making that's a little more animated than the type on offer here. It's the story of a football team called Ahly, and this is their centenary year. It's a date their fans aren't allowing to pass quietly.
Ahly translates into English as the national, and they've become known as the people's football team, the first club solely for Egyptians. 100 years on, and they're the best supported and most successful side in the Arab world. If you're looking for the heartbeat of Ahly, you'll find it right here on the streets of Cairo.
The city is chaotic and colourful enough in its own right. But an Ahly match day adds a barely contained hysteria to the mix.
This is Egypt. This is a team of Egypt.
Ahly, كل حاجة. Everything, yeah.
I love it. Ahly is our club.
Ahly in our heart, all Egypt. Ahly in our heart.
This is the current side that bears the responsibility of satisfying the demands of a fan base that's in excess of 50 million people. Even their training sessions are well-attended events. This is a club where success isn't so much hoped for as expected.
This is not a club, it's a country. You understand? I think that our supporters, they are fantastic with our team, with all of us, and they deserve this.
Every game you have to win. Every game you have to doing a good performance. You have to get all the champion which you are going to participate in. Of course, this put us under pressure, but I think this is enjoyable, you know.
Here in the big club, when you sign the contract, you know, you must work with a big pressure, you must win competition. This is normal, but they are fantastic. Good or bad, they are always with us.
The inner sanctum of the club reveals the extent of its history and success. Founded in 1907, its aim was to be not just a centre of sporting excellence, but also of national pride. Egypt was administered by Britain at the time. Ahly, though, very quickly became a club open to Egyptians only. Every victory would be an Egyptian one.
This trophy room is much more than just an excuse to show off the spoils of success. For a club created under a nationalistic banner at a time when the country was under British rule, each trophy is a vindication of the ideals that inspired the creation of this team a century ago.
For 100 years, it represents some sort of a national pride, some sort of independent, and of the ability to differentiate between to be patriotic but not political, and to be totally independent, and to continue in a very democratic way, and to represent the ability to manage and to work as a team.
But neither nationalism nor passion alone will keep a trophy security guard in a job. Dozens of domestic and continental titles have been won by generations of great players. There have been few better than Mustafa Yunus, the first captain to lift the African Champions League trophy back in 1982.
Ahly is about more than just sport. It was the first national team that was established to fight against the British occupation. That's why it is so popular. The club has taught us everything about life, not just football, about how we should respect ourselves and our opponents. Football is not simply about winning and losing games.
The current team are also the reigning African champions, but these players know only too well they're just transient keepers of the Ahly tradition, links in the chain of the club's history.
The club is a kind of organization, not only in sports for these people outside. It's a team for everything. A team for you know the people outside don't have anything to do but love Al-Ahly.
To celebrate their centenary, the club invited Barcelona to Egypt for a friendly match. Cairo's 80,000 capacity international stadium was full 5 hours before kick-off. The game itself didn't quite go according to plan. The Spanish side won 4-0. But for this set of fans, such setbacks can easily be put into context. Hussein is just one supporter who rarely misses a training session, never mind a match.
Ahly's history is well known, and it's one that exceeds even Barcelona's when it comes to winning titles. I believe we are better than them. This year we will clinch our 100th trophy, and no other club in the world has done that. No other team is idealized in the way Ahly is.
So while the headlines of this 100th year are likely to be dominated by big events and famous names, it's up in the stands, among the less well-known faces, where the enduring spirit of this club's history lives. Andy Richardson, Al Jazeera, Egypt.
Now, we all know that skiing requires some heavy boots and long sticks. Its radical cousin, snowboarding, can sometimes feel like having a giant banana peel strapped onto your feet. Now, a third option has emerged on the slopes, which promises to liberate those who prefer not to eat snow. Carrie Brown has more.
Introducing Europe's fastest growing winter sport, airboard. In simple terms, bodyboarding on snow. In practice, throwing yourself head first down a mountain at speeds of well over 100 kilometers per hour. The concept stumbled upon by convalescing winter sport fanatic Joe Steiner, desperate to find any means possible to get back on the white stuff.
I had a snowboard accident. I ripped the tendons on my feet and I was not able to stand up for about 2 years. And during this time I developed a new way to do winter sport.
Thrill seekers, cover your ears. There is one significant reason why this sport caught on so quickly. It takes just a couple of hours to pick up the basics, partly because there's little to fear. The rider is so close to the ground that falls are merely tumbles. Well, that's the theory.
Joe, I've learnt to ski, I've learnt to snowboard, and if I was having my first lesson on top of a mountain like now, I'd get down with broken legs. Are you sure I can go down this on my first lesson?
Yeah, no problem. It's totally cool. I'll quickly show you how to do it. You get down on the board, head first. If you want to go to the right, you turn the body to the right and put your weight here. To go left, you just do this, the opposite way. To go straight, you're like this. If you want to stop, put your weight off and turn the board, and then it will, see, it will not glide. So it's as easy as that. Okay, you go first.
Me first?
Yeah, you go first.
It looks simple, but admittedly for the first few runs I bounced from side to side, a little like a pinball, but eventually I caught up to ride along with the professionals.
Like snowboarding, airboard had its skeptics, but now world-class resorts like Davos here in Switzerland are backing the rise of this sport. Let's go, guys!
We just started this winter season and I'm very, very pleased because we had no problems at all, and people who tried it, they enjoyed it and they get fanatic. I have even somebody in my office who doesn't do any sports at all. He was one day out there and he loves it now.
Airboarding is now welcome at 65 resorts in 20 countries, and the sport even has its own competitive race circuit with varying classes including speed, mass start freestyle, and border cross. With speeds reaching just over 140 kilometres an hour, these races are not for the faint-hearted. Aaron, the winner of this speed category. His talents won't go to waste at the end of the weekend because he's one of a growing number of full-time airboard instructors.
It's for me as a teacher also very cool because I don't have these long days, just slide a bit the hill down and so, like skier or snowboard teachers, because when I tell them 10 minutes a bit what they have to do, so I have the rest from the day also my fun because they want to go after, and that makes also fun too. Yeah, they want to have fun too. That makes it much better for me as a teacher. Yeah.
Leading border cross rider Nikki has just returned from Japan, where the sport is also gaining in popularity. There he met one group of riders fearlessly experimenting with new techniques in the snowpark.
There are tons of crazy guys out there which I met, and they were like trying the tricks we did. So they were the first time on the airboard, but they kind of tried to do screws and all that. Then they didn't stand anything, but they're just kamikaze, and they're really good bunch of people, and I think it will hit Japan hard.
Jessie had an early advantage over her rivals. She's Joe Steiner's daughter and was one of only 2 people to experience the earliest and most basic airboard prototype.
Well, I was a really little girl when my father started developing them, and I used to lay on his back and hold on to his shoulders, and I always wanted to go faster and faster.
Clearly her father's daughter, but she is not the only one easily hooked. While we were on the mountain, we were approached by a number of curious onlookers who wanted to jump on board. These 2 riders hired their boards just hours earlier and were suddenly getting expert tuition from the sport's top competitors. Joe, however, is still coming to terms with the fact that complete strangers are enjoying the sport he brought to the slopes.
Quite incredible, you know. Sometimes it enters my mind and I question why me? Why did I do it? It's really something, you know, especially if I'm around a lot of people and in this area and I see all these people doing it, having fun. It's making me very proud.
The beauty of this sport is that I've been on an airboard for just half a day and I can almost keep up with the experts. That's why this sport is growing so quickly. Expect to see one on a slope near you soon. Carrie Brown, Al Jazeera, Davos in Switzerland.
Don't forget to check out our website aljazeera.net/English and let us know what you think of the show. But that's it for this edition of Sports World. We'll be back with more next week. You're watching Al Jazeera.